If you want to heal, you have to show up. Show up for yourself, show up for your kids, show up for your family. You got to show up, not the pseudo version of you, not the program, not your limiting beliefs, not your fears. You got to show up. If you want to heal, you got to show up. You got to do more than you've been doing for you to change. It's not gonna come easy. A lot of people say, man, I'm on my healing journey, transformation journey, but you're not showing up each day. You're not trying your most ultimate effort. If you want to heal, you have to show up the true version of you every single day. You have to be where you're at, and you can't just be in like the space that you've been in forever. If you want to change, nothing else is going to show up unless you show up. So keep watching this episode of Ed Talks Daily. If you're frustrated with yourself, if you're frustrated with you and you're like, man, I want to heal, but it doesn't seem like I'm showing up, this is the episode for you. Let's go. If you want to heal, you have to show up. And what I mean by that is, we're expecting our life to change. We're expecting for us to get rid of certain things, as that we want to lose weight. We want to heal from our traumas. We want to get better. We want to grow. We want to be better. We want to be happy. We want to be peaceful. You don't want to go through that anxiety. You don't want to go through that suffering anymore. But my question for you is that just something you saying? Are you just saying that, but you don't really mean it? Right? Are you just saying that, but you're not really taking the action steps to make it happen? You just say, man, I want to heal, but you don't really show up for yourself. Like somebody invited you to a workout class and you're like, man, I'm trying to lose weight, but you're not even gonna go. Somebody said, yo, I'm detoxing and fasting, you trying to join me? And you're like, man, it's bitter. What you mean it's bitter? Bitter is good for you. If you want to heal, you have to show up. I'm not the version of you that's been showing up, not the program that's been showing up. You got to show up. Your spirit has to show up. So I'm tired of people saying, man, yo, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. But then when I say, hey, here's a solution, you don't show up, right? I'm not accepting that anymore. And you can't accept that from yourself, right? You can't keep asking people for stuff if you're not willing to show up for it. So what I mean by that is you're demanding from yourself a certain thing, but you're not showing up for you. You're not waking up early and taking care of your mental health. You're not showing up to read the book. You're not showing up to the class. You're not showing up to the school play for your kid. You're like, yo, I want to break generational traumas. It sounds nice. It sounds nice, but you're not showing up for your kids. Shout out to ET for this powerful video yesterday. Like some of you fight for the box, but you don't fight to stay in your kid's life. You fight for the punani. But when it comes for the time to take care of your kids, you don't fight for that. ET said a powerful word yesterday. You got to show up. And that's the thing. If you plant a seed, at least show up and water it each day. You want the tree, but you don't want to water the seed. So listen, this message is not meant to be comfortable. This message is meant to make you uncomfortable. And what I'm saying right now is whatever you want in your life is not going to come by osmosis or by chance. It's going to come by design, by your design. Oh yeah, I want to change. I want to heal. I want to break generational traumas. Well, show up for yourself, right? It has to come to a time where you stop complaining about things and start acting upon them. Because at the end of the day, you don't need no more advice. You don't need to watch no more videos. You don't need no more. You need to get into acting upon what you know already. Right? You want to heal, at least show up. Right? Listen, and here's the thing. When we're going through certain moments, we just want everything to be all sweet and lovey-dovey. We don't want to face the truth about it. And that's not how it goes. Listen, life is part suffering. But it's either you go through the pain to grow, or you keep inflicting the pain and you keep saying, hey, look how I'm bleeding. There's two types of people. They go through the strain because they know on the other side of the strain is muscle growth. And there's a person who says, look, pity my suffering here. And they keep perpetuating their own suffering. So if you're suffering because of your continuous reacting of what's happening, of the same thoughts. You notice you have these thoughts and you say, I shouldn't have these thoughts, but then you keep dwelling in them. You keep giving them fire. You keep fueling them. But yet you want to change, but you're not showing up. Your spirit have to show up. If you want to change, you got to show up. Right? Don't come at me with that. It has to be important to you. Let me ask you a question. Are you getting older? Yes, you are. Time is going by. You might as well be enjoying that time. If you're going to enjoy that time, so why are you staying in that time suffering in the past when you could be creating the present so you can get the future? If you want to heal, you got to show up. Now, if somebody says, yo, I showed up. No, sometimes you're not showing up. Your past is showing up. You showing up today with yesterday's thought patterns. And you're bringing about the same day because you're not showing up consciously. Your thoughts patterns are showing up. Right? You're not showing up consciously. Your habitual patterns are showing up. If you want to heal, you got to show up. You got to stand up for yourself. It doesn't happen by osmosis. It happens by choice. Right? It's not something that comes all easy. People want it easy. What they say, easy come, easy what? Easy go. Easy come, easy goes. No, this journey ain't supposed to be all easy. But guess what? If you don't do what's hard in order to heal, you're going to be living a hard life when you don't heal. So life is going to be painful. You got to choose which pain is worth. Like, wasn't it Bob that said? There's a pain that comes with love, but you got to find who's worth suffering for. But some of you, you're suffering for the past version of yourself. And you're not going through the pain that's going to mold the future version of you. Right? You're not willing to show up to something like a community to help you. Right? If you want to heal, you got to show up. Not your past. You can't go every day bringing about the same exact thoughts. Saying, well, I'm suffering my thoughts. No, you're suffering what you keep perpetuating. And if you know you're perpetuating it, then it's your desire. It's in your power to stop it. No one else is going to stop it for you. And you don't, listen, you get the pacifier. You want the pacifier of, oh, it's going to be okay, hang in there. Listen, don't let personal development become a pacifier to do the work, where I'm going to listen to something positive so I don't have to face what I got to do. Nah, you better go face it, boo-boo. Because at the end of the day, nothing that you listen to without acting upon is going to help change in the trajectory of your life. You can listen to something, but you don't act upon it, the trajectory of your life ain't going to change. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, you feel good, but are you acting on that feeling? Yeah, it sounds good, you feel good, but are you acting on what sounds and feel good? If you want to heal, you got to show up, the true version of you, and not your past or your program. Who's the you that got to show up? You got to say, hey, I'm not my past, first of all. I'm not my thoughts, first of all. And I'm not my decisions. I am a result of my past. I am a result of my thoughts and a result of my decisions. But I am not me. If I am not them, then I can change my life. And so many of you, you're noticing your thoughts, you're noticing your decision, you're noticing your past, you're noticing your indulgences, and you're saying, man, this is it. But then you want to change, but you're not willing to show up as a spirit to do the work that needs to happen in order for you to change. You got to give some things up to go up. You have to sacrifice to get to the next level. You have to be willing to sacrifice certain things. You're like, yo, I can't wake up early enough to do a routine. Well, you better sacrifice sleep. Is healing that important to you? Well, you know what? I can't control my sexual desires. Well, you better sacrifice some of that. Is healing that important to you? Well, I can't sacrifice spending some time with my own family because it's so painful. Well, is healing important to you? Well, I can't sacrifice. I don't want to deal with my baby mama drama. Well, is your kid important to you? You got to show up to grow up. You got to be a man or woman. Stand up for what you know you need to do. It's good to talk about it. It's good to go in Clubhouse and make a whole soundtrack about it. But when it comes down to it, are you going to deal with it? When you leave from this thing, are you going to say, hey, man, I like what you're saying, but, man, I'm going to go back to the same situation. I'm going to think the same thoughts. I'm going to do the same shit every single day. But you know what? I'm healing, though. You got to show up to grow up. It's some things you got to give some stuff up to go up. You're not willing to give anything up, but you're trying to elevate to the next level. You still staying in your carnal self. You still making these same decisions, indulging, but you want to go to the next level. Listen, I understand how life is, but what I understand is that you are powerful. And there has to be a point where you understand that, the work starts with letting go of the shame, the doubt, the blame. It takes a process, but once you get to this point, there has to be a certain energy that is very yang, where it says, man, I'm not accepting that from myself anymore. It's not just about like, positive thinking. Oh, let me throw some daisies on the shit so I don't face it. Oh, you know what? Let me say some positive thing about the situation so that I don't really see what's really going on. So sometimes we're not even saying the truth of what's happening. Like, we're trying to say what we think we need to be saying, or what the other person needs to hear. And what I'm telling you right now, saying what you think you need to say to feel good about what you're going through is not going to get you through it. It's about realizing what it is and making a determined decision that I'm going to transform. I just dropped the quote today. You say, man, I want to heal, but instead of doing the actions to heal, you find a distraction, right? Instead of doing the action to heal, you find a distraction. How many times are you going to take yourself off the track of healing with a distraction when you could be acting on it? You got to show up in order to grow up. And you got to let some stuff go so you can grow. You trying to get to the next level, holding on to the same thing. Listen, if you're holding on that much weight weighing you down, do you think you're going to be able to have enough energy to climb the mountain? But what's happening is you're holding all the loads of your past, the load, and you keep adding on to it. And you're like, I'm trying to grow up. Nah, boo-boo, you gotta throw away some of that stuff. Because guess what? You keep racking that stuff up. It's going to bury you deep in the ground. And that's longer it's going to take for you to go up. You plant the seed, water it. Water it. You made the decision, I'm going to start healing. Water it. You say, hey, I'm going to transform my life. Water it. Wake up, show up, make a determined effort to do things that normal people don't. Because you want a life that normal people don't have, but you're willing to do normal people things. Right? You want much greater for yourself, but you're still stuck. You're still stuck in the mindset that this media has put out, and you don't realize that you're stuck in it. And do you want to be stuck in it, or do you want to be freed? Do you want to live like a caged bird? Maya Angelou says, I know why the caged bird sings. Well, I know why the caged bird cries. The same energy you spend in crying could be an energy you use to sing when you get out of the cage. And the cage I'm talking about is your mindset, is what you're accepting. It has to be, listen, you have to get to a point where it says it has to work or it has to work. Neil Davis says this, it has to work or it has to work. There's no other option. I have to heal or I have to heal because there's no other option. Because I'm not dying. I'm healing. I'm not bringing myself 6 feet deep by staying in my carnal nature. I'm tapping into my higher self and I'm on cloud 9. It has to work or it has to work. I have to heal or I have to heal. I have to grow or I have to grow. It has to be it. You can't be wishy-washy. Or I got my left foot in, I got my left foot out, then I'm going to turn my life around. You're not playing hokey pokey with your life. You gotta know what you want. So once you know what you want, you need to take the action steps by having the discipline to do what you need to do so you can make what you want happen. That's it. You know what you want. Take the action steps to do what you need to do to make what you want happen. Because let me tell you what, the more you keep indulging in that and living that life, is the same time you could be constructing the life that you want. You wasting time. And you got so much in you. And that's the thing, man. You got so much in you. And the thing is, you're getting in your own way of what's in you. So when I say you got to show up, somebody says, who you talking about, bruh? Oh, is it my personality? You know, I got to show my personality? Or is it my attitude? Or is it my title I got to show? Who? Oh, that's the thing. You don't know who's showing up. You got 3, 5, you got 7 faces. So now you're wearing so many masks, you don't even know who you are anymore. And that's the problem. You got to figure out what's beneath the mask. What's beneath the persona. What's beneath the front. Because we all know, what do we want? We want to be loved. We want to create stuff. We want to experience a life where we feel like we have a purpose. We want to bring ourselves out here. So what we do is we create these personas that we have adopted from literally the media, from the stuff that you've been hearing, from the posts that you've been reading. Shoot, you read a post from the spiritual world, now it became your reality. Shoot, that's somebody's mindset trying to get likes. And you think, yo, they have some, oh, this is the truth here. I must follow what the spiritual world post says. This is how it really is. No, what's happening is you're thinking because it is common that you should adopt the common mentality. And this common mentality is getting you to common demise. Here's the thing. People are not watching this because people are not willing to face the parts of, they're not willing to do the work to heal. They're not willing to hear the real shit. They're not willing to hear the healing shit. They want to hear that toxic shit. They like that toxic shit. And I'm saying at some point, you got to understand that toxic shit ain't working for you no more. And if you keep perpetuating the toxicity and you're like, yo, I'm trying to heal. Nah, man, you got toxicity all over your body. So I say, yo, go detox, go fast. I say, yo, go start moving. I say, go start journaling. I start listening to this podcast. I say, show up to Rise and Prime. Go to the Qigong class. I say, yo, do a workshop or something. Find a community. Maybe go abstinent for a little bit. Maybe go on a retreat. Go on the top of the mountain and sit there. Do something different. You want something different? But you keep doing the same shit. That's called insanity. Oh, I want something different. I want a different shit. I want a different life. But okay, I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna think the same way again. I'm gonna call the same. It doesn't work that way. If you want to change, you got to change. If you want life to get better, you gotta get better. Okay? And I'm not coming with this message lightly because I feel the energy. And I let the energy divinely guide me to share what message I got for you. Some days I'm like, give yourself grace and space. I'm telling you, you've given yourself grace and space long enough, and you need to put some fire underneath your belt. You need to say, man, listen, I'm not gonna be in my 20s forever. I'm not gonna be in my 30s forever. I'm going towards 40. I'm going towards 30. I'm going towards 50. Shoot, I got a legacy to build. I got a legacy to build, y'all. Some of y'all think this is just about you. This ain't just about you. This is about your seed. This is about your legacy. And the problem is you're only thinking so far as to how far you traveled. You're not thinking about the children that lies in your womb. You're not thinking about your last name. You're not going that far. You're like, man, my decisions is just affecting me right now. You are literally affecting future generations. But you're like, man, I'm going to break generational curses. You're cursing your generation with your actions. I told you, I'm not keeping it lightly on y'all today. If you want to break generational curses, you can't curse the generation with your choices. You got to start making better choices to break the generational curses. I want to break generational curses, but I'm not going to talk to my mom. Oh, yeah? Tell me how that going to happen. I want to break generational curses, but I'm gonna have resentment towards these people. All of them. I'm gonna have resentment, but I want to break generational curses. I'm not gonna learn how to reduce no resentment, but I want to break generational curses. Hey, can I get one generational curse breaker to go? It's not a to go. It's a to be. You have to be the generational breaker, curse breaker. You got to be the one that says, I'm going to do it. If you want life to get better, what? You got to get better. If you want life to change, you got to change. Because your life can get better. It will get better when you decide that, I am not accepting that from myself anymore. I've inflicted too much pain. I've noticed too much. I know too much about myself now to keep perpetuating the same cycle. If you want life to change, you got to change. If you want life to get better, you got to get better. And the thing is, I'm over here, I'm doing this podcast so much, y'all. Every day I'm putting in the work. And I'm seeing the mindset. I'm seeing the struggles, the pains. And I'm like, bro, if only they knew that everything they needed was right here. Wow. That's why I made that episode yesterday. It's all in you. You're full of so amazing, like you haven't looked. You're looking outside of you too much. Right? You're looking at your face too much. You're looking at your abs too much. You're looking at your booty too much. That you haven't seen the beauty that lies in you. You haven't seen what's really existing in you. Once you get in touch with the spirit, it's like the interior of a car. You're like, bro, it looks good on the outside, but when you sit in that car, you're like, yo, man, it's a different experience. It's a different experience seeing the stars on the roof. That's a different experience. The problem is you're only seeing the vehicle car. You're seeing the painting on the car, but you're not seeing the inside of it. You haven't seen the engine yet. You haven't seen the power of the engine. You think the inside, the internal of the car is the car? Wait till you see the engine. You haven't seen really the deepness of what you can do. Once you tap into that, you're like, yo, I'm that powerful. You mean to tell me I can go on live video? I can just speak what's in my heart and somebody can hear this and their life change? You mean I'm that powerful? Yes. You mean to tell me I can make a decision today and I change the trajectory of my family's life? Yeah, you that powerful. The thing is, you think you weak, but you putting on a face that you think you're weak, but you're really strong. But now you walking around acting like you're strong, but you're thinking you're weak. But you haven't really tapped to the deepness of your strength. So I'm saying you are so strong and powerful, but you've been saying, man, you know what? Let me put a pseudo strength up, a wall, so I can look tough. But I'm not really diving into the toughness of who I am, but I just want to look tough. So we start closing ourselves off to the world. We start doing certain things, and we're like, yo, I just want to look tough, but we're not willing to do the work. So if you want to grow up, you got to show up. You got to show up to the school, yo. You got to show up to the school life. You got to show up to the class. Right? You got to show up to the workshops, the seminars, the therapy session, the coaching session. You got to show up to the exercise class, the nutrition class. You got to show up for your kids. You got to show up for your mom. You got to show up for your friends. You got to show up for you. If you want to go up, you got to grow up. But most of us are not willing to show up to grow up. And what I'm telling you today is, the same thing I'm doing right now, with 4 people watching, I'm going to have 400,000 watch. Same thing I'm doing right now, with the same thing I'm doing right now, I will stand before kings by doing it. But every day I show up, this is called consistency. So listen, when you show up, it doesn't mean like everybody's going to say, oh, he's showing up. You don't show up for them. That's the problem. You're showing up for them. You think I'm showing up for them? I'm showing up because God has endowed me with a purpose. Yeah, I'm showing up for you. But I'm showing up because God said, listen, this is a gift I gave you and use it. I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to follow you because obviously when I don't follow you, I see what happens. So I'm showing up. But you think I'm going to let a view dictate whether I do this? I was giving you the same energy when there was one person watching this. In fact, there was 0 person watching this. I was giving you the same energy. I was giving you the same energy a year ago. I was giving you the same energy 2 years ago. I was giving you the same energy 3 years ago. I was giving you the same energy 4 years ago. I was giving you the same energy 5 years ago. I was giving you the same doggone energy 6 years ago. And when I was 12 years old, I was giving the same energy when I was selling patties to kids. When I was on the track team, I was giving the same energy to my teammates. When I was in the classroom, I was giving the same energy. I never stopped. I just kept showing up. You want to grow up, but you're not willing to show up. I don't know. It's going to make me uncomfortable. That's the problem. You in your comfort zone too much. Well, I don't know. He's talking a little too rough. He's talking a little too much for me. No. What do you mean? So here's the thing, though. Here's what pisses me off. I go on this guy, Kevin Samuels. I'm not telling you, I'm not saying that Kevin Samuels don't. He has some stuff, he really spreads, he says it raw, and he tells some stuff that women need to hear. But I look at that, and I look at Eric Thomas' live video. And I look at that, and I look at some other healer. I'm like, yo, why is this guy get so much people on his live video? So much people watching this stuff. So much people just want to keep with that same thing. But then when there's something about healing, when there's something about mental health, they're not over there. They're not over there. Right? They don't want to deal with that. But when it's time for them to hear that, yo, you look like a big body Benz, but then there's the holistic motivist saying, hey, this is how you lose the weight. They're not over here watching how to lose the weight, but they're watching how somebody telling them they're too fat for somebody to love them. I'm saying if you want to change, not only do you have to change, you got to change your environment. You got to change the energy that you're able to deal with. You got to change the frequency and vibration. Listen, based on the collective frequency of vibration will determine the people who are up there. And as we raise, we're in the age of Aquarius. Turns out I'm an Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius, an age of enlightenment. This is the age of people waking up. But there will be 2 ways of waking up. This is what the word means, but there will be many false prophets among you. But because you've been living a false life, you're going to look at the false prophets and say, they're the prophets. And then the prophets will be speaking, nobody will be hearing. But those who have ears, let them hear. Because only a few will be able to hear. That's why 99% of the people are sheep being led to the slaughterhouse. So I had a dream, and I do have these very intense dreams. I was like having a dream. I saw a bunch of people running a building with fumes. I'm like, why are you going in the building? They're killing you. You see people dying. Why are you going in the building? And I'm over there, I'm like, yo, this is where, go outside to the forest. Look, you don't want to go in there. They're going to suffocate you to death. They're like, nah, I want to go in there. That's where the party's at. It's just like the Travis Scott thing. Y'all out here going to these concerts. What you looking for? Salvation? Salvation in the lyrics made for the profit and the condemnation of your mind? You want to find salvation? Go to the forest. Go play. Look, you going to a rage for what? You don't even have space to breathe. Why don't you go outside in a drumming circle with your friends? But you're not showing up to the drum circle. Oh no, it's too mystic for you. Oh, you mean to tell me you can see that astral world is not mystical enough, but drumming circle, that's satanic. Oh no, the music ain't satanic now, but I do some drums, I'm positive, I'm dancing, that's very satanic. They're doing a satanic ritual. It's the full moon. Let me give you this. It's the full moon, so they know your energies are all ramped up, so they put the concert right in the full moon. It's a new moon. They know there's a new thing going on. They want to dictate. So they put it right in the new moon. You're like, oh, I'm going to a new moon rage. You don't even know it's a new moon. Oh, because you just going, unconsciously, I'm going to go rage it up. Because obviously you looking for some sort of salvation. And you found your salvation in distractions. And you're like, oh, let me go. But then somebody says, hey, why don't you take some time during the new moon or the full moon to journal, be in touch with yourself, find some people that you really care about, and, go and have some drums, maybe have some sound bowls, do a little drumming ritual. Why don't you stay away from the digital music and create your own music in real life? You're like, well, no, I don't think, I never heard of that. That sounds a little bit too, what? But you over here at the concert giving praise to all types of gods without knowing it. So what I'm saying here is, if you don't raise your frequency and vibration, you might say, I'm showing up. But then guess where you're showing up to? You showing up to the devil's den. And I'm saying, you got to know where you're headed. What do you want? Do you want to live the path of righteousness? Somebody says, well, why be righteous? Man, it's more fun to be bad. Have y'all ever heard of that? It's more fun to be bad. It's more fun. You get to turn up more. It's more fun to leave like in demon time. It's more fun to live in my carnal nature. Well, it's fun at the moment, but it's dreadful when you're not there. So let me ask you this question. Do you want 1 hour out of 24 of pain? Do you want to have 1 hour of pleasure, 23 hours of suffering? Or do you want to have 24 hours of bliss? When you make a decision that you're just going to make what's pleasurable, you are literally sacrificing what's spiritually enjoyable. When you say, I'm just going to give in to overeating because that makes me feel good for like an hour, you're going to create havoc in your body those other 23 hours. At some point in your life, you got to decide, if my life is going to change, I'm going to change my decisions. At some point in your life, you have to make a determined and deliberate effort that I'm not accepting this anymore. I'm not accepting this anymore. Say this with me. I am not accepting this anymore. I am not accepting this anymore. I control my destiny. I am not accepting this anymore. I control and create my destiny. It has to be so important to you that you do what you need to do. It's not going to come to you because you just said it. It's not going to come to you because you think it. It's going to be created because you act upon it. It's going to come because you become it. It is what you become. So if you want your life to change, you got to change. If you want your life to get better, you got to get better. And nobody is going to do it for you. The holistic motivator is not going to change your life. I'm going to say that again. The holistic motivator is not going to change your life. You're going to change your life. I'm not here to do nothing to change your life. God had just placed me here to share my light. And if you could take something here and you could use that, use it for your benefit. I can't change your life. You can, though. So you got to do it. If you want to grow up, you got to show up. That's my message, y'all. I'm sticking to it. You don't got to suffer anymore. If this message empowered you, make sure you go to edtalksdaily.com and subscribe to this podcast. This is a podcast, and you can listen to this whenever you want. Okay? You got the unlimited power and need to transform your life. It's going to take you showing up and stop showing out, trying to look good in front of your friends, trying to look good in front of the culture, and keep being a vulture trying to look good for the culture. Nah. Trying to be a vulture, trying to look good for the culture. Stop it. Stop that. You got to remind yourself that you got the unlimited power to transform your life. And until that happens, the world forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things that you got to offer. So remember, let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe for those of you watching on YouTube. And if you watch on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you leave a comment, y'all. A comment is going to help boost the algorithms and get it all around the world. And if you have not left a review for the podcast, make sure you go to edtalksdaily.com/reviews and leave a review. With that being said, y'all, I hope the message came straight from my spirit and into yours, because I wasn't playing around. I came here with a word, and I let the word, listen, share your truth, and it will set you free. Peace.